trust me, looking at the camera.
Say you down. You gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you gotta stand up. Oh, you. Oh, you. Fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, you.
In person is so much more beautiful.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios as usual. And I got a special guest with me to my right. I got Miss Jackie Carson down here. How you feeling today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you were able to join us for this podcast. So I usually like to start it off saying how I was introduced to the artist or how I come to find the person that I have on the podcast. And this one's no different. I actually found you down Level Up Studios the first time that I seen you perform. And then I kind of followed your career through that point and seen some of the things you were doing and seeing you've been very active, creating content and doing a lot of shows and really paying your dues along the way. So tell me, like from that time of you performing down Level Up Studios, I know you don't mind traveling. You traveled to be with us. I most certainly appreciate it. How did you come to find those different opportunities to perform at some of these places that you performed at?
I usually just, follow other people on social media. Sometimes I'll check like the music pages, Facebook pages and
Right.
things for flyers.
Yeah.
And I've just really been at it a lot, especially I'd say around 2019 I really started songwriting a lot, trying to get back into it
Yeah.
over the years. And any opportunity I see, I try to get in. I'm opening in New York, I found out, in Brooklyn.
Oh, very
on
nice.
August 31st at Moon Vibes Festival.
Okay, if y'all out in Brooklyn and you're out in New York, make sure y'all check out Jackie Carson. What's the date again?
On August 31st.
August 31st. You'll be
I'd
down
love
there.
to see you guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, for you with the whole musical journey, do you remember like your first influences or some of the songs you were singing growing up that got you passionate about music or some of the artists you were listening to that got you passionate? Who were some of your early influences?
I would say huge influences of mine are the Jacksons.
Okay.
Michael Jackson
Yeah.
and Janet, both.
Yeah.
Michael, when he was in the Jackson 5,
Right.
I never saw such a talented person in my life.
Yeah.
as he
No,
was.
great. Yeah, for sure.
I loved the power and the soul that he had as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I would say I Want You Back was probably one of the songs I sang the most as a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of Motown. I love all Motown and soul music, such as Sam Cooke.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just before the Motown in the 50s.
Yeah.
Or-
Yep.
So Sam Cooke, I was a huge fan. I love his music still. Still
Yeah.
listen to all the Motown. And then I would say 80s pop singers were
Okay.
influenced some too. The lead singer from the Bangles,
Yeah.
Sophia, or what's her name? I'm trying to think what her name is, the lead singer. Hoffs, Susanna Hoffs.
Okay.
Her, I love Tiffany's power that she had. Madonna, like all little girls sang.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston was a big one. I loved Whitney.
So you like power ballads. You like things like that.
I like powerful singers. I often get compared to Britney Spears, and I don't think she's a bad entertainer,
Yeah.
but I think I have more soul and power than her a little bit. I really love that's more fun, like a challenge to me.
You enjoy a lot of the soulful stuff. So a lot of the artists that you were naming are a lot of soul and R&B singers, and you consider yourself more of in that lane as opposed to like pop.
I would. It's actually a compliment to me to be preferred R&B.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break through more into R&B than pop. I saw that SZA was kind of wanting the opposite. She's wanting to go more the pop direction,
Right.
and I'd love to go the opposite, the R&B. I'd like to
Going more in the R&B direction.
the R&B. Like other singers I sang a lot of in the '90s would be Aaliyah, Monica, SWV.
Right.
So
More of the soulful R&B stuff.
yep, I absolutely love it. And my music now that we're working on, I started working with Jesse Christopher. He's a producer with Cash Money Records.
Okay.
And the AMAG Collective.
Yeah.
And I actually applied for a passport. I'm supposed to fly to Am from Cash Money. He's like one of the executives there, to his house in Canada to record.
Very dope. Very
So
dope.
we're working on songs probably at least like 2-3 times a week. I go on Discord with Jesse, and then I'm hoping to have a few Pittsburgh artists, dancers, give them an opportunity to be in some videos.
Oh, nice. Very good. So now you said coming up, you were influenced heavy by like the soulful sounds of Motown, the Sam Cooks, the Jackson Five, Janet Jackson, and some of the stuff like that. Now, do you remember when you first started writing your own original pieces? Um, were you writing like R&B type tracks, or what was that like for you when you first started and get into original creative pieces?
I started the first lyrics I found. I was probably, I know, around 8 years old was
Hmm.
whenever I started, and they were just little kid lyrics, kind of writing about
Sure.
how I felt. So you would see
As early as 8 years old?
as early as 8.
Wow,
So
that's cool. That's impressive.
singing about cats. My one uncle was in Desert Storm. He was in the Army and Air Guard,
Mm.
and I was worried about him. And there were song lyrics that I wrote a song for him because I was worried about his safety in the war. So
Right.
they're in my dad's organ bench still sitting there.
You
So
still have that music?
I still have all the lyrics from when I was in high school, when I was a little kid. I have
Yeah.
some of those.
Now, were you recording at that time, or when did you first start recording? Because I mean, eight's pretty young um, to write original compositions. Not many people start that young, so that says a lot about you as an artist and your songwriting. When did you first start recording music?
I would say the first solo I remember being given in choir in front of people was "Hero" by Mariah Carey when I was
Okay.
in ninth grade, and the choir teacher had me sing the start of "Hero," and that was exciting. People cheered. I was really shy.
Yeah.
I have anxiety disorder, so
Do you still carry that with you?
I do. I think a lot of entertainers, probably Michael, I'm not positive, you know, he's always very shy and
Yeah.
polite when he talk, but I have social anxiety. I have perfection and body dysmorphic disorder,
Mm.
like perfection anxiety. And I notice I criticize myself a lot. I'll be on, like, let's say I perform somewhere. If I think I messed up at all, I'll watch my performance, and if I don't move enough or dance enough,
Right.
if I think I'm off key or something, nervous, forget the words, I'll be so hard on myself. I'll be like, I need to rehearse so much
Yeah.
to not do that again.
Do you? Does that perfectionist side go a lot into your rehearsing? Like before you even get to the performance, do you find yourself practicing a lot?
I usually do, just to avoid probably the first 30 seconds of my performances. My anxiety is pretty high.
Yeah.
Depends. Some days it's not, but I try to pick a song that I rehearse the most, I'm most confident with, and I notice it kind of subsides, like my anxiety calms down,
Yeah.
and then I'm fine. But it's just something I've noticed that I think it's just with the anxiety disorder that once I'm calm, I'm fine.
Right. Good. No, absolutely. So you said you were in a course. You were in a course and you were doing concerts, and that was your first kind of foray into performing. But as far as the recording aspect of it, when did you first get a chance to record an original, or not even original piece? When did you first get a chance to record in general and find yourself in a studio type of setting?
I ended up around 99. I went to a house because we used to just meet in houses with equipment,
Sure.
old soundboards.
Yeah.
I met a guy from Penn Hills. His name was Chad Lance, and he was 27 and I was maybe 18 at
Right.
the time. He was a good bit older, and he said, we're starting, back then they called it Precise Productions, guys from Butler, Newcastle, Pittsburgh. They were going to be famous and starting, this rap,
Collective.
group or something, and all of us
Sure.
joined together. And they were really passionate about it.
That's
And
a long reach, right? Those areas aren't necessarily close to each other.
Yeah, they're different areas,
Right.
and we all came, like, the whole house was full of, they were doing like rap competitions,
Yeah.
like towards each other, and a lot of them were interested. Well, my best friend first met Chad's younger brother. Her aunt worked with him, or I think she did, at a place called Magnetics.
Okay.
And she said, my friend sings, because in high school I used to sing on the school bus to people. I used to sing the national anthem.
You were
I get
very
up
you were
and
very active.
I sing like sing like Monica, the national anthem, or something R&B
Yeah.
style, you know. And I actually got bullied in school. You know, girls that like to sing, that bullied me pretty bad. It
Really?
actually, yeah, I was
It was
afraid
like,
to.
was it very cliquish?
It was very clicky, and I was afraid to even try out for leads in musicals and things because the bullying was that bad.
Wow.
And then I have the anxiety disorder on
To
top of
go
it.
to go on top of that, yeah.
And I heard Aguilera went through similar. You know, she was bullied, is what I heard. But
Yeah. Now, how did you overcome all of that? How were you able to still find yourself performing and still finding yourself in these circles where you're with other creatives to perform? How did you overcome all of that, even though you're facing the anxiety and you might be able to help someone else who's facing the same thing as a performer? How were you able to overcome those challenges?
I think it was just my love of music that
Yeah.
much that I loved it. When Michael Jackson passed, I was devastated, and I literally cried for months. And my kids were like, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, "I wanted to write a hit song when the King of Pop was living." And
Yeah.
I was really upset because I loved Michael Jackson. I think he was such a kind soul, and I've always thought he was innocent. And I don't care what people's opinion is of that. I do believe he was, and such a giving person. Everybody, he inspired, such as myself. And it bothers me because I feel like that's how we ended up losing him.
Right.
People making fun of him, and I don't think he had a chance really to live like a normal childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's interesting, right? Because he was a childhood star. You see someone like that, and they say very much he just wanted to do normal things. Like he would try to disguise himself, and there's a famous video of him like paying people so he can go and shop like a normal person. And we take these things for granted, that we're able to do these very mundane activities, and someone like him would actually pay just to go grocery shopping, just so he can have that experience. So no, you're right. A lot of the things that he did was certainly to please the people. He grew up in the public eye, and having that type of scrutiny and constant pressure and constant eyes on you at all times. And even before social media, even before social media was big, he was always under a camera or under the microscope, being scrutinized for everything he did. So it's hard for us as, average normal people to realize the sacrifices he made to be the star that he was.
I agree.
And a lot of the things he did do for us, and for good or bad, that's what a lot of it was. Even some of the physical things, like you said, yourself dealing with anxiety and different body dysmorphia. He went through a lot of the same things, and he just wanted to make us happy. So it's cool that you kind of found inspiration in his story, to get over your anxieties and a lot of things you were going through. So that's very cool that you found that as inspiration to keep pushing through, for your passion in music. And I often say, like, you have to be passionate in order to be successful in music, because there's so many ups and downs
Yeah.
that come with it. Were there ever any times where, through all of the adversity you were facing, that you felt like giving up?
There were times, just like anyone, I've tried out for Pittsburgh Idol years back, for The Voice. A lot of times the online trials, because
Right.
I've been rejected, not chosen.
Right.
I go through just like everybody. I show up and feel disappointed, but I don't know what it is. It's just that love of music and always trying to make it. I'm like just really driven. I
Right.
don't know if it's the perfection anxiety or what it is. My love of music, and even the videos that I'm planning on doing, where we're actually going to have people from Pittsburgh do hip hop dancing in them. And it's going to be the next few weeks, actually, up through August. And then the videos are going to be presented to Cash Money executives
Very nice.
through
Yeah.
the producer. So
Yeah.
I want dancing like the Jacksons had.
Yeah.
I love the old When I Think of You, or when they say break, and Janet and them all dance together.
Right.
Those are the best videos. You wait for that part where they're dancing together to
Yeah.
the music.
You're trying to capture that moment.
And I
Yeah.
wrote them in a way that the lyrics are actually written the way they hit, and with the beat, where I think it's going to make the dancing look amazing.
Nice.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too. I'm excited to see it come to life and come to fruition. Now, you said you had a lot of rejection along the way, and A lot of that's a part of doing this because you're going to hear a lot of no's, but all it really takes is that one yes to change everything and to change, your whole situation and what you have going on. Now, what about, the opposite end of that spectrum? What was some of the validation that you've had along the way to keep you motivated or to let you know that I'm doing the right thing, I'm heading in the right direction? What was the moment or some of the moments that you had where you felt very validated in what you're doing?
Well, kind of whenever I first met Chad, that I was telling you about, he went by Verbs. I don't know, who all knows him in Pittsburgh, but we're still great friends. And when I first met him, my
Oh, you're talking about Verbs
Chad
the rapper,
Lance.
Chad Lance. Oh, that's the
You know
homie.
Chad
Yeah,
Lance?
yeah, for sure, for sure. Shout out to
He's the first
Verbs.
person that ever recorded me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Verbs is the homie for
Yeah,
sure.
he's in Georgia now. He just went down to Georgia, but we're still friends. And it was what was hilarious. My friend Angel said, "You got to hear my friend Jackie."
Oh,
And
that's wild. Yeah.
brought me to the house. Him and there was a guy, Mike Huddleston. He went by Juice. They were together, and Chad will even tell you, it was funny the situation. And he said, "You don't look like an R&B singer."
Yeah.
When I walked in, and I was like, kind of had to prove myself for the genre, when I sang Monica. I started singing. I'm trying to think which one, like this and like that.
Okay.
And then Chad and them started snapping their fingers. They're like, they actually said, "You black girl, you black," is what
Yeah.
they said. But it was a compliment to me
Right.
because I think I love the soul. I love the soul in I love the soul in churches
Yeah.
when they sing together, and it's just like it's a compliment to me to hear that.
Do you think a lot of people have misconceptions of you by your appearance? Do you think they make a lot of they have a lot of preconceived notions about what you're going to sound like before they get to hear you?
I get compared to Britney Spears a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Do you think that's more of because of the aesthetics?
I actually sometimes sound like her, but my voice is really, it changes to where I could even sound more like Tony Braxton or Whitney Houston. It's what's the word? I told the guy with Jesse earlier, my phone goes off. It's versatile.
Okay.
I can sound, more powerful soul or like Britney more, but even though I do love Britney Spears, it's not a challenge to me singing her because it's easy to me to sing her. So it feels great when someone's like, "You really sang that Tony Braxton song good," or
Right.
"You sang Monica good," because Michael Jackson had soul like that, and that's what my favorite is since I was little.
Right.
So
More of the soulful,
Yep.
records. Sure.
I love soul.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's get into some of the music. I know you had a track release with Hollywood Swervo, "To Be Mine." Why don't you tell us a little bit about that before I get into it?
We're making a new version of it too. I sent the beat to him, and he was actually really generous. He filled the whole beat. Like he made a hook. He sang 2 different features,
Oh,
so I
nice.
could choose one,
Right.
which I thought was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Definitely had tons of material, and I listened to it, and I'm like, he's so talented. He is a really talented rapper.
Yes.
And
So tell the people how you met up with him to begin with.
I met him through Trevor Donnelly, The Rift, and I noticed they were friends, and just started hearing some of his material,
Right.
and I thought he sounded great. I said he's probably one of the best rappers I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I've probably made him have a big head. I've told him that, and because he is. And Trevor and I are friends and talk, and he's a great friend. And he told me that Josh is what Hollywood's name is.
Right.
But he said that he's a good person and stuff. So you get that feedback from a friend.
Right.
Tells
So
you
it kind of
about him, so.
validated what you already felt about him.
Yeah, and I've heard him talk. His material is hilarious. If you guys check out Hollywood Swervo, he has a lot of skits.
Yeah.
I went to record at, is it Moonstrive Studio here in Pittsburgh, or or Hotbox? I'm sorry.
Hotbox Studio. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hotbox Studios. I went to record there, and the guy said, "You have Hollywood Swervo. I know him. I love his skits. He's hilarious."
Yeah.
And he said he used to have dreads and was talking about him. And I couldn't believe that he knew him because he's in Minneapolis.
Right.
But I guess he's lived in Miami and Atlanta, like prior to going there. So I just knew that he would be perfect for the song. And he sent it back, and I was really impressed.
Blown away by it. Sure.
I was. And then I actually sent that song and a few others first, I have a new song that I wrote. It's called Never Let You In. And I woke up one morning, I heard the beat. A guy in Nigeria made it. It was on BeatStars. HEC Beats is the name of it. So I went on, and still laying in bed. Sometimes I'll listen to beats when I'm in bed, and I'll get song ideas in my head when I'm laying there. So I heard this like chipmunk type sound. You know how they sing a feature and they make it sound like a chipmunk kind of?
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain that, but
Yeah, like sped up.
Yeah, and I heard it, and I loved the intro, and I was like, this is perfect to write to. And I spent about half an hour, and I wrote this song called Never Let You In. And the chipmunk sound actually says, and I'll never let you in again. And it said, I'm trying to think what else it said. I'll have to play a little bit of it for you.
Sure.
But I heard the intro, and I'm like, I love that song. So I wrote it. And then I just kept saying, I love that song. I swear it's a hit song. I'm not positive yet, because I haven't released it yet. So I went downstairs, and I hooked up my soundboard. It was an old AW16G. One of the ones like Chad probably recorded me on.
Yeah.
So I hooked it up, and I actually have a video singing it. And I was like, I love this song. It has a lot of soul and stuff in this song. So I decided to put it on LinkedIn there's a lot of music industry people on there.
Yeah, I never even thought of that before. That's a good idea, yeah.
A lot of music industry. So
Sure.
So I uploaded it to LinkedIn. There's like a music industry forum and industry A&Rs. And there's actually a lot with the major labels. There's like Warner Chappelle, Universal, Sony.
Right.
So I uploaded the video, and I got a few comments under it pretty fast. I was excited. And one lady wrote under it, she said, it sounds like you might have an R&B hit there underneath the song. And I was like, yes, this is what I wanted.
That's what you were going for, yeah.
And I also copyright, like I'll send my stuff for copyright, because you never know. There are people
You never
that
know,
will
yeah.
steal your material.
Absolutely, yeah.
Heard it so many times, like Marvin Gaye,
Yeah.
had his taken. And so then a couple days later, she actually reached out again. She was polite, and she said, if you're open to it, I do think that could be a pop R&B hit. So she said, call me. So I called her, and she's a Sony songwriter, and she's with Warner Chappelle, I guess. So she wanted me to send the song, and I said, I'm a singer as well. And my dream is to have a couple hit songs, and I'd love to be like Prince or Sia, where they write like tons of songs for other people.
Right.
And I'd love to be able to do that. Like Prince wrote so many, or I'm trying to think here. The one who wrote I Want You Back wrote thousands.
Really?
I can't think of his name right now. I met his manager, actually, Smokey Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote thousands of songs.
Yeah, Smokey wrote a lot for Motown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I met his manager too, a couple years back. But that is my dream, to have a few hits and then help others write hits. Other people that want soulful R&B, maybe a hook in their rap song or something.
For sure.
So that's my goal. And I told her, I said, I need to think about it. She wanted me to send it to a producer at Warner, and
She wanted to shop it as a song for someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
So I told her I'd think about it, and then I said because I might want to sing it myself. I'm unsure right now.
Right.
And it might be an opportunity where I could have my first hit. I hope so.
Right.
And then she wouldn't really answer after that, because I hate to say that, but it almost seemed like because I didn't just hand it over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because you didn't do what she wanted you to do with it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so then I'm like, I'm going to send this, like a few of my songs, To Be Mine and Never Let You In, and a few of them, being as I knew I was sending them for copyright and stuff too. So I took the links and I started writing to different labels, and one was Cash Money. I started writing to, the producers and stuff. So I sent links to Jesse, and then he's a great guy. He gets back to you. When he says he'll call, he does. Right. Every time. Very, very organized label, I would say.
Yeah.
And he said, I like your songs. He said, I really do. And he said, I really like that one. And he named Never Let You In again. So the thing I liked about him was he allowed me to, he's trying to give me an opportunity as a singer and songwriter.
Right.
Not just giving me the
Just
song.
not just be a songwriter. Right.
So it was exciting. He's trying to give me a chance to make the dance videos like I'm wanting. Like Jackie
He's letting you live out your vision.
Yeah,
Right.
and I love it. And he actually was. There was speaking of what happened to Trump, today. Some of them he pardoned when he left office.
Okay.
Kodak Black,
Kodak Black, yeah.
and he was involved with driving one of them back and forth because they couldn't drive, I guess, because of maybe like an arrest situation or
Yeah,
something.
suspended license type situation.
And
Yeah.
and one of them, he sent me footage. I can't remember what song it was. I'll get it. I'll pull it up for you.
Sure.
But he sent it, and it was pretty exciting. I forwarded it to my stepson. My stepson's favorite rapper is Lil Wayne.
Okay.
So he's been to his concerts and all kinds of stuff, and it was so cool to tell him. I'm like, guess what label I'm working with? We're
Oh yeah, that
talking
had to blow his mind. Yeah.
So it was exciting. And when he was really small, I used to play Jay-Z for him, and I think
Yeah.
I got him into hip hop. So then he started liking
It was a full circle moment.
people on his own, like
Yeah.
his favorite. See here, gotta find the footage to show you. Whatever song, the song that it was, it had 600 million streams, I think.
Wow. Well, while you're looking for that, let me go ahead and play "To Be Mine" for the people. We'll get into the "To Be Mine" featuring Hollywood Swervo, and this could be found on all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. Yep. I think there's two versions. There's one that more explicit, one that.
Why do we fall for the same men? If you got one, be gone, be gone. Those selfish players, what's with them? Is it the money or the man? They blow up with the best, won't find and all the rest. She's not equal to you. Ladies forgetting men, they all in my DMs, trying to go straight, gone with through. You wanna be mine? You're trying to be mine, to be my number one. Show respect, have to work for it. Number one, show respect, have to work for it. Constantly lying, that's the play. So full they are, big money, big ego. Guess the heart of the foe. They blow up with the best, won't find and know the rest. She's not equal to you. Ladies forgetting men, they all in my DMs, trying to go straight, gone through. You wanna be mine, you're trying to be mine, to be my number one. Show respect, have to work for it. Number one, show respect, have to work for it.
Bitches tell me they love me. I don't want shit but money. Used to have feelings for you. Now they be feeling on me. I can tell you really want me. I know I tell you I want you too, but I just be horny. But look, that's not important. What you want? Let's fuck today. I know you know I got a girl, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on us today. I heard you got some bitches too. Fuck it, we'll bring them through. I got a couple dreams. I'm trying to sell to them and you. I know my niggas. Silent, I know them killers. Violent, we run if we hear sirens. You get caught, then be quiet. My bitch look like a goddess. She cuter when she silent. I promise if she ever cheat, she dying. Hollywood.
If you wanna stay, then you gotta do right by me. There's no other girl who'll be a lover that gives you all I bring. You wanna be mine, try to be mine, to be my number one. Show respect, have to work for it. Number one, show respect, have to work for it.
Loved Aaliyah. My first EP, I actually took it down for now. I'm gonna end up putting a lot of the songs back up because I ended up leaving one of the distributors I was with a few years ago. And the first EP I ever had made was by a guy in Virginia. His name's Troy Mitchell, and he was in a rap group called 3 Feet.
Okay.
They were signed with Salt and Pepper.
Oh wow.
So I sent him one of the first successful songs. That's the other thing. Don't give up if you're songwriting and you're not good at it, because I was terrible at it for so many years. My songs sounded horrible when I tried. I mean, I just wrote lyrics, but the beats sounded cheap, or
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, there was Beat Stars, which I learned from ID Labs and all that stuff. So a lot of my songs I first would write to a real generic, like, keyboard beat.
Right.
And I wrote a song called I Wanna Dance. That was the first one that I wrote. And I'm planning on re-releasing that song and a few other ones. I sent it to Troy Mitchell, and his profile said that he actually sang the background in What a Man with Salt and Pepper,
Oh wow.
and Vogue did as well.
Yeah.
So he was on Saturday Night Live with them. His group 3 Feet was in the background, dancing when they're singing What a Man. He sent me the footage and stuff. But we did 6 songs together and put it out, and that was my first album I ever had, the EP with him.
Now is that still available? Like, can we
It's not right now, but we're kind of we're looking
planning
at
to
each song.
re-release it?
Yeah, planning to re-release it.
Like remaster, re-release it?
Yeah, and he's really talented. His beats are amazing,
Yeah.
and really talented guy. But he actually worked with Timbaland. There's that Magoo passed away, I believe last year.
Yeah, that's true.
He's on the album. It's called Timbaland and Magoo.
Yeah.
So he worked with him a lot, and then I even joined. I'm trying to send music to that on TikTok, where Timbaland listens to songs.
Oh yeah, he does different reviews.
Yeah, I'd love to see that
Yeah.
because some of my new songs, not really Never Let You In. I have another song called Betrayal that I wrote. It's another one I think could be a potential hit once we release it. It sounds like an Aaliyah song.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Aaliyah. I sent it to Anthony, the one that helped write To Be Mine, and he said, I agree with you. He's like, it does sound like something Missy would write
Yeah.
when he listened to it.
Yeah, I love Timberland and Magoo and Missy, that whole Virginia explosion when it happened. Static Major is so dope, even though he's not from Virginia, he's from Kentucky, but he was a big part of that movement, and he was a incredible songwriter with that team. So yeah, if you have ties to that and you're working with people who are affiliated with that, you definitely have a step in the right direction, because those are certainly the names you wanna be amongst, because they're legends, living legends, especially from a singer songwriter perspective. There's so many great writers who came out of that camp, like a Static Major and like Missy, and Timberland wrote a lot of hits as well. Now, how can the people get a hold of you if they want to listen to your music on streaming, or if they want to follow you on social media? What are the ways they can get a hold of you there?
On social media, I'm under at Jack JACK M and then CARS, like Carson, and I have 12. It was my son's baseball number, and he's hit 97 miles an hour pitching.
Oh wow.
He's the same perfectionism,
Yeah.
and he puts it into baseball.
Yeah.
Same thing. He makes a
Pirates
mistake.
bullpen could really use him right about now.
Yeah, he's hoping. He was actually at a place in Charlotte called Tread, where he was just training with some major league trainers down there.
Oh, very nice.
He was hitting 94 down there.
Yeah.
So that's his dream, and we both have that same perfectionism. And I've seen him at baseball. Same thing. If he thinks he didn't do something perfect, he will practice. He'll
You start working on it.
ask for footage of himself. He'll say, "Get me into trainers." Work hours every night. So then the next 5 games, he looks like he's a major league baseball player. Like he won't make a mistake.
Right.
And it has to be the same anxiety for mom. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you're working on currently you're working on that EP, remastering that EP and trying to re-release that.
yeah, working on that. I'm working on 15 songs with AMAG and Cash Money's producer.
Yeah.
So our goal was to do around 15, and we're trying to pick the best ones for an EP. So we're working on an EP, and then I've already talked to a few of the trainers in Pittsburgh, and one, I think it's called, her name's Shira, I want to say.
Okay.
She dances at the ballet
Oh,
in
nice.
Pittsburgh there.
Very dope.
And there were some loyal dancers I've had over the years too, from around Butler, PA.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping to give everybody opportunities, because I know, just like singers, people want to have that opportunity as a dancer too. If it's with hip hop.
Are you in dancing? Because it sounds like you are very passionate about the dancers and having them involved in a lot of what you have going on.
I was in cheerleading, and we did dances. We had to learn.
Different choreography there.
Yeah, different choreography, and I can dance. The thing with me is, I'm not an actual trained dancer to where they probably pick it up in 2 seconds.
Right. Sure.
I'll get it. It's just going to take me a little bit longer, but I'm determined to do it, to get the moves down, and I really want to put Pittsburgh on the map. I want them to be like, it's just like the Jacksons videos. I really want that to be for this area.
Right.
Especially my dad's from Pittsburgh and my mom both, so it's kind of like a lot of my family are from here, so
You got a lot of roots in the Pittsburgh area, sure.
yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when was the first time that you released music for the masses? How was that reception for you when you first dropped a song or a single? Because you don't have any projects out currently, right?
Yeah, just the ones
Just
I'm
a
working
single,
on.
just the singles out currently, right?
Yeah, just to be mine. Was released the end of May, and actually the first time I had that EP with Troy released, actually something kind of bad happened. There is a violinist named Jackie Carson that's 12.
Oh wow,
Spotify
Yeah.
mixed our accounts.
wow,
So I had a battle for the first like probably 2 months just trying to get my album not mixed with this 12-year-old violinist.
wow.
I couldn't believe there was a violinist, a boy named Jackie Carson that played
That's
violin.
insane, huh?
Yeah, so I didn't have it up too long. I didn't put much money behind it because I actually met a label in Atlanta that I was with for a little while. And I ended up leaving that label because of some things that happened there.
Creative differences.
Not really creative differences, just artists not being treated very well.
Oh wow, okay.
So I ended up leaving and went to another guy that was not a really good label again, like jumping to another one that I thought a lot of them will say I have Sony, I'm with Universal, a lot of cons.
Right.
So I left, and one I knew was with Warner Records on LinkedIn. His name's John Fitzgerald. He goes by Scoop, and he actually advertised a distributor, Firebird Sounds. They help with like placements and different things.
Okay.
And I realized Gabby Barrett was started by them out of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And Paula Hersom, that is the president, either president or vice president of Firebird Sounds, she helped start Gabby. Her significant other, I think they're boyfriend and girlfriend. He
Okay.
wrote some of Gabby's songs,
Right.
and then she went on American Idol with the one, and won on there. And then she had that. I really liked "I Hope" by her. That was my favorite song by Gabby Barrett. But so then I've kind of stuck with Paula. She believed in me, and that label once again in Atlanta. I was so excited that they liked my music when I first went there, but there was a little bit of triangulation and different things going on there, and the head of the label I made the mistake of getting involved with, and he cheated on me. To say this to the public, but never ever. That's advice I have for people: is never get romantically involved with.
Mixing business with pleasure.
Yeah, the CEO of the label.
Yeah.
I just really fell for him. I thought he was a good person, and then I believe there's narcissism involved.
Yeah.
And then he started triangulating me with one of the writers of my song "On My Mind," and telling me she's a better writer than you. And
Yeah.
stuff. It was horrible to hear, especially when you're romantically involved with them, putting me
Right.
down. And he would treat her cruelly too, would say, she's a better singer than you, and stuff, which was mean to do to both of us.
Right. Kind of putting you two against each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And romantically, involved with both. I believe he was a malignant narcissist where he would kind of, that's why I left, but I really fell for him, and just the cruel treatment that I was going through. I said, I can't deal with what you're doing to me. So I ended up leaving. So that's
Right.
actually why I left that label.
Sounds like it was for the better.
He had a hidden fiance that he lived with too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was one of those where the narcissists have hidden double lives.
Right.
So I ended up leaving. I tried to warn that girl because he was cheating with numerous people. I tried to tell her family because I was worried about her. And she actually, he tried to get me fired. Tried to get me fired from my job trying to warn this poor girl. Because she has, I don't know if she knows how much he's cheating on her and stuff. And I have heard with that disorder that they could steal your home or do different things. Like, I don't know what will happen to her. I don't know if she's secluded or what. But
Right.
I was concerned about her. And I found out after I already left the label about her from other artists.
Right.
And I just thought it was terrible, the whole situation. So
Wow. So how did that affect your music moving forward? Because obviously must have been contractual things involved with that as well.
he was actually nice in that way. On My Mind was made there. And
Okay.
I gave him $7,000, someone that was involved with marketing for Spotify. And I left from abusive treatment. and from what he was doing with the woman and stuff, it was terrible.
Right.
And it broke my heart because I really was in love with him as well. So I left that label, and I knew it was a bad situation. So
Right.
I got out, and he actually was nice and released all my mind. The only thing is I lost that 7,000 because they said we'll still push your song, and they didn't.
They didn't push the
Kept
song.
my money.
Wow.
So I lost like $7,000 for Spotify marketing.
Wow. So
For
that
falling
was
in love with the wrong person.
an expensive lesson, right?
Yeah,
But hopefully it was a lesson.
it was.
And you're able to grow from that and able to take away from that, and it sounds like your music is still intact. Through
It made
that
me more
you were-
driven, actually.
Yeah.
It made me more. It made me really driven to succeed. Because this person did break my heart, and he was actually even cyber stalking my pages and things. I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
if he still does. I'm not sure, but it made me more driven to succeed, and I just took it in a positive way. I'm not letting it get me down. I'm putting it into my music.
Mhm.
So a lot of my songs, Superstar, if you listen to the lyrics, is kind of aimed towards that person,
towards
and
that situation.
towards a situation.
Yeah.
I never knew what a narcissist was, or anybody that's dated one, a borderline or a narcissist, I think, or psychopath. He might have been all three. I feel bad for anybody that's ever been in that situation because it's a really abusive situation.
Now it sounds like a lot through your life you used music as expression for yourself and what you were going through. You said even early on you were writing about your uncle and him being in Desert Storm and your feelings with that. More recently through your music, your relationship troubles and things like that. Is that an important part of your writing process, your creative process? Is taking your situations, your personal situations, and expressing them through your music? Is that a
I
real
would
part
say
of your
probably.
process?
Probably so.
Yeah.
I hope that there is another woman or man that has been through like narcissistic abuse that it can help.
Right.
Kind of the situation when I saw P. Diddy, it reminded me of that situation that I
Yeah.
was in. And I've talked to Jesse's been very supportive with Cash Money. He said they're not that way at all. They're for the music, which
Right.
I think is great.
Yeah.
And they keep relationships out of it and things like that, which is wonderful.
Right.
And I pretty much try to write my songs so when someone else listens to them, they know somebody else went through it or is there, I have noticed a lot of, on Spotify right now, a lot of woman viewers,
Okay.
are following me.
Yeah.
So I
You
hope,
think it's because they can relate to what you're saying?
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope that's why.
Yeah.
Because it was the most terrible part of my life. I'm finally feeling way more healed from getting away from that situation.
Yeah.
I can't believe. Have you ever dealt with someone narcissistic? It's terrible.
I don't know. I don't know. I try not to deal with individuals.
Sorry, I keep scratching my nose. It's like I don't know why my nose is itchy up here.
Oh no, you're fine.
What's she doing with her nose?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say for sure. Personally, thinking about it, I'm sure I have. I've come across all sorts of people in my journeys. But I think just for me personally, when it comes to dealing with people, it's first knowing yourself, and having a strong sense of self, and that way you can understand that whatever another individual is doing, it's completely within them and it has nothing to do with you. And so I try to build a strong relationship with myself and try not to worry about too much of what others are doing, but understanding why they're doing what they're doing and what internal conflicts they may be dealing with themselves. And then I can choose how I deal. I can choose with how I choose to deal with them after I understand those things. And then I'll make a conscious decision to either create distance or try to be what I need to be for that person.
I actually don't hate that person. Maybe that's the empath in me.
Sure.
He made me realize a lot of things. I went through triangulation as a kid. I was a scapegoat child.
Right.
And I guess that if you had a narcissistic or borderline parent, that you can date one.
Right.
And
Yeah, they say that's like a Freudian thing, right? Like we always.
used to your home life or your
Yeah.
abuse that you went through.
Yeah,
like,
you try to find what you grew up with. You try to find those things and pull that closer to you. Yeah.
I haven't got hit in the face with toys
As a
kid,
child,
as a
really?
child.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just never felt like I was good enough. Just I still love my mom. She passed away a few months ago, and we made up, later years, and pretty much when I was 15, she pretty much left.
Was she supportive of your music as you were?
She was supportive of music,
Really?
and she had a very abusive childhood, so every form of abuse. So I understand, and I think that's why I don't hate the person, that I dated.
Right.
I hope that he gets help, and I feel bad because I know those conditions, like cluster B conditions, are really hard to fix,
Right.
especially if they have like ASPD or something like that. But I would love to guide him in the right direction to like counselors that I think could help him, because
Right.
even though he did stuff to me, and I don't think it was deliberate, I think it's from his conditions, and I don't hate him. And if he looks me up online and watches stuff, I don't. And I just hope he gets the help he needs before they keep making him go down, like that Wade Wilson you saw on TV with the tattoos all over his face.
Yeah.
I don't want him to end up going down that path and being unhappy all of his life. I want him to, if he can get help, if it's borderline or something,
For sure.
I want him to get help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I try not to name the label
Yeah.
with respect to him and
Yeah.
the other people. That's the thing is, I know he married the person I called and was upset about my money getting stolen. Then he married that person April 8th. My birthday's April 13th.
Oh, wow.
So was it intentional? I think possibly.
Yeah.
But I wish him the best. I'm not holding a grudge.
Right.
If he was upset with me and doing things to hurt me, which I think is possible, I never wanted to leave that label, and I really wish the best for him. I do.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah. Like I said, it sounds like you're able to learn from those situations and definitely grow from them. And hopefully, someone listening to you today, if they're going through something similar, rather it be a relationship, or if it's a work type of relationship, or even something musical like what you're going through, because you hear about that a lot. And that's like you said, you named the Diddy situation, and the R. Kelly situation is kind of similar in that regard. You have someone who's in a position of power who's using that type of power, which I don't know. I can only go by what was alleged in those situations. I guess R. Kelly's been convicted at this point of some of those things. So, I'm only speaking on things that I hear of in those things. So I don't want to speak on it like I'm coming from a factual place. But if you are someone going through those things, hopefully they can listen to your situation and find their way out of it, and grow from it, and not hold resentment or be bitter towards that situation like it sounds like you have. You want the best for that individual, even though they didn't always treat you the best. You still don't hold any resentment towards them. So that's a beautiful
good in
thing.
them. I mean,
Yeah.
I did see there were times good in the person. They struggle. I saw him wanting to feel love. And
Yeah.
they can't feel love with that condition.
Yeah.
And I noticed it bothered him. So of course it would, if you can't feel love or intimacy or from those conditions.
Yeah.
So I don't hate him. I'm not letting it get me down. Any of that stuff. Like I said, I put it into my music, and I'm trying not to hold any hard feelings and just move forward.
Absolutely. No, that's a beautiful
And I wish
thing.
them the best. I hope that whoever's with his label, that they do good.
Absolutely. No, for sure. But we're here for Jackie Carson tonight. Not the violinist, but the singer. For sure. So what can we look forward to coming up from you? What are you working on currently, and do you have any features that are out that you're looking to hear soon, or are you looking to work with some artists?
I'm excited about, I'm hoping that the executives like Red Eyes are one of them, that they like my songs and videos. I'm hoping to really make Pittsburgh stand out.
Yeah.
The dancers and things. Chad Lance, what's sweet with him, because remember I said he's the first to record me,
Yeah.
Verbs.
Yeah, Verbs. Yeah, for sure.
He will send me a nice message now and then. I'm so proud of you, how far you keep working at this, since I started with you.
Yeah.
And, now and then he'll just send a nice message, or we'll talk all night long sometimes. He'll just call me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How you doing? And actually, I bought a farmhouse near Slippery Rock, PA.
Okay.
I was holding my phone up like this, talking to Chad, and we're unsure if it's haunted, this house.
Yeah.
He goes, "Who's behind you?" And I said, it was 3 a.m. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Who is that?" I think Chad saw a ghost behind me in my phone.
Was he messing with you or was he being for
He
real?
was serious.
Oh my
He was
goodness.
like spooked. He said, "Is that your son? Who is that?" He goes, "I saw a woman by your towel cupboard." And it's from 1900, that house.
Wow.
And the vacuum has turned on by itself. So
Does that
there's
freak
a
you out
chance
a little bit?
Burbs Could have really seen a ghost. So
Does that freak you out living
I
in a
actually
haunted
went
house?
and I was scared. He said, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you."
Oh, well,
But-
how could he know? He's probably trying to look out for your safety. Now, I know one of the things that's been important to you, or seems like that you've been focused on, is creating content and trying to be constant with that. When did you come to find that awareness of content is king? Because it is. Short form content is huge right now with platforms like TikTok. And so many different other platforms adopting reels. Like even YouTube has reels and things like that now. When did you find the importance of creating content? When did that become something that you wanted to make part of your brand?
That came again, another Teddy Riley connection.
Okay.
I have someone that actually helps manage me part of the time. If I ever have a song go big, I'm going to mention him. But his name's Dwayne Coles. It says DC on his profile a lot, like on videos. He made a lot of the 90s videos. He made
Okay.
Black Streets videos.
Oh, very cool.
Destiny's Child, Rough Ends. He was Teddy's videographer.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So he helps manage me, and he said you got to constantly put content. They push the sexy content, if they really do. I mean, I think it's our genre too.
Yeah.
It's the sexier outfits or showing our asses off, or whatever. That they are the ones that take off the most.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No. So he kind of brought it to your attention that you have to constantly create content. Now, sometimes that in itself can be like a job.
It is.
Constantly creating content and trying to figure out ways to make new content. How do you find yourself motivated, or how do you find it within you to be passionate about creating content? Because it is something that requires just almost as much intention and care as sometimes the artistry itself.
Just almost each day, it's because I want my dream to happen so bad that I'm always trying to think of video ideas or do photo shoots or different things, so I can keep at it.
Keep creating content, yeah.
Keep creating it, watching the times of the day, when it seems to take off the most. Usually I notice between like 10 and 3 seem to be my busiest times.
Really? Like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It seems to be when I release stuff, it just seems like the most views are around those times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
learning a lot from DC, a lot from him.
I had a content creator, one of my friends in music, Jordan. What up, Jordan? Jordan Beckham, told me that it's best to I think it's like a 3-hour increment of like from 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. to no, or something like that, 12 a.m. Like when people are going to lunch, right before people go to work, right as they're getting off of work, right after they're eating dinner, like these times, like 6 p.m., like things like that.
That is one I heard too.
Yeah.
6 and 10. I think it was.
Right when people are getting
6:30
ready to go to
a.m.,
bed,
like 9.
right when they're getting up, yeah. So I've heard a lot about that, and algorithm is such a crazy thing, and the people that understand it and know how it works, because I have a few friends who are in the content creating area of the world, and those guys really understand it and get algorithm. And it's like almost sometimes they're speaking a different language when you hear them talk about it and the way that they perceive it. But content is king, and it's so important to constantly create and be innovative and make sure that you're being seen. And we live in a microwave generation because everyone wants everything right now, right away, and they want the next thing. People don't really get to sit on things and enjoy them. They're always constantly looking for something new. So if you're not constantly innovating and trying to make something new or making new content, you can get lost in the sauce very easily. So the fact that you've committed to that does show more of the passion of you wanting to make it in music and do it in music. So you said right now you're working on the project and the video. You're trying to create more of the soul content for the people and trying to bring some light to Pittsburgh and in this area. And that's important to you. Do you have any shows upcoming?
I have the one in Brooklyn, the festival.
Right.
There's a festival in Richmond and a festival in Atlanta that I've applied for.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So,
Awesome.
I think Richmond and Atlanta are within like a day or two of each other.
Right.
And I'm willing to travel if I'm trying to work with dancers and maybe bring 2 dancers with me to
Okay.
each festival.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to performing, is that like, do you find yourself the happiest in that moment, or you find yourself the happiest in creating music, like recording or writing? What's your favorite part of the whole process? What are you happiest in when it comes to all of this?
I would say once I calm down that initial anxiety when I sing, and if I can tell the crowd liked my performance, once they really cheer, it makes me feel great.
Yeah.
I love, I do love performing, and that point where I'm being confident, and especially when I'm not making a mistake,
Right.
because that's, terrifying to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, you're a perfectionist, so you don't want to. You don't want to.
I found
Making mistakes.
CDs on the AW16G, that old soundboard I'd always
Yes.
use. I literally had CDs I stacked up this high, like hundreds of them. I'd record a song that wasn't good enough, and then
Oh, wow.
I'd burn it, go in the car and listen to it when I had a CD player still.
Yeah.
Or I'd make it into an MP3. I would take I would make it like an MP3 through a regular CD burner after it was on the soundboard. Go in the car, and so many times I was like, not good enough, not good enough. And I would have hundreds within a couple months by the time it was done of CDs.
Did you ever find that
Perfectionism.
sweet spot? Did you ever find a
I
porch that
finally
was just
would.
right?
I'd be like, okay, it needs this one little thing, and then I do it, and then I thought the song was good enough in my mind.
So it does get good enough for you at some point in time?
It does, and then there have been times where I actually have not gotten any sleep, and let's say like I know I have work the next morning, or
Right.
I know I have something to attend. I'm like, oh, I'm so close, and I'll be looking at the clock from the perfectionism, and I'll be 1 or 2 hours of when I need to wake up, and I just keep working on it. I can't stop
Don't even get sleep.
because I have to have it perfect when I'm working on it. So
Is
it's
that-
good and bad about it, you know.
Is it hard to find a balance because you have a lot going on? You sounds like you have your regular 9 to 5 job. You have the music. You're trying to create content. You're trying to balance the performances, and you also have children that you're. You said your son's active in baseball, and I know anytime you have kids in sports, you're constantly traveling and moving around with those guys as well, especially if they take it serious, as it sounds like your son is. So you have to make sure that they're able to get to these things. Is it hard to find balance, living in all of these different worlds, wearing all of these different hats? Are you able to balance it?
I am. I
Or are you
think
still
again,
trying to figure that out?
I think again, it's the love of music. Just it's my kind of a hobby, and I love it so much that I'm just so driven to, get that hit song, get it to take off.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to come out with these next ones. I honestly I think they're the best ones I've ever written that are going to be released in the near future.
Now you say hit songs, and it sounds like that's important to you. How will you know when you got a hit? Like what would be, what landmark or what accolade would you need to receive in order to know? Is it like the number of streams? Is it a Grammy? Is it radio play? Is it #1 on a Billboard? How would you know you had that hit that you were looking for? How do you know when that moment arrives?
I'd love #1 on the Billboard, Grammy, just like Michael. I'd like to be like just follow Michael's footsteps and
Yeah.
have that happen and go viral. Once you hit a Grammy or something, you'll probably be viral on social media, but
Yeah.
I'll feel like I accomplished that dream, that goal I've been trying to get, and then I hope that other artists come to me or like, can you help me write songs or work on them? And that would be exciting to me
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
Have you written any songs for anyone as of yet?
I helped write one with Anthony for a girl, a country Nashville singer. She's 15.
Yeah.
She's actually in Chicago area, so we helped write one for her. I've been writing some that are kind of his ideas, trying to help Anthony write some. The one that was trained by Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
I also never realized, watching the video, I always loved High Five when I was a kid. I loved Kissing Game. But,
Yeah.
I look and it says Teddy Riley at the bottom. I'm like, I love all the songs he's done. I
Yeah,
really
Teddy
do.
Riley's amazing. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out to join us tonight, Miss Jackie. One more time, tell the people how they can get a hold of you on social media as well as any streaming platforms. How can they listen to you and reach out to you?
Jackie Carson on all social media. Jack, JACKM as in Mary. Cars, CARS 12. So at Jack M Cars 12 on social media. Jackie Carson. And I'm 1 hour north of Pittsburgh near Slippery Rock. I love working with others. if you guys have any songs you want help working on, any I sing hooks and rap songs, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
definitely interested in working with others, and I thank you for your support, everybody. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, we look forward to hearing everything that you have going on. If you guys are out in Brooklyn, make sure you guys go and check her out there. In the meantime, you're at the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios, like we are every Saturday. Until next time, we'll see y'all.